So before I let you go, Notre Dame, what is their move? What in the world is their strategy, right? Because the word was the Big Ten wanted them with USC, didn't get that. And so what is Notre Dame's deal right now, Pete?
So, Rich, I think they're enjoying their newfound popularity. If you think about when Jack Swarbrick took over maybe 12, 15 years ago, I vividly remember because I was at the game. It was Big Ten weather. Charlie Weiss lost to UConn at home. The great Randy Edsall trounced the Irish in South Bend. So there weren't exactly visions of grandeur of playoff appearances and undefeated seasons and such since then. So you fast forward to now, they're the prettiest date on the dance floor. And here is Notre Dame is not going to go to a league unless they're forced to, or they see scenarios unfolding that forces them to join a league. So there's 4 years left, Rich, on the CFP contract. There's 4 years left on their NBC deal. I don't think they do anything until the future of both of those things becomes clearer. The CFP is really the key here. If the CFP is organized in a way that limits severely Notre Dame's access to the playoff, there's probably a better chance that they'll join a league. But that's probably going to take 2 years for all those commissioners who aren't exactly getting along famously right now. It's going to take about 2 years for them to decide on that. So I think Notre Dame's going to sit back and wait that out. And then I think they're in a really good position to cash in on a TV deal. They've had, 3 undefeated seasons in the last decade or so under Brian Kelly, regular seasons, I should say. They played for the BCS title, poorly, but they played for it, and they made two playoffs, obviously, under Brian after that. So I really feel like if you're Notre Dame right now, there will be a lot of bidding because they're Notre Dame. A streaming service has a lot easier time buying 6 or 7 home games a year than they would, taking on a league package and having to, put the Tuesday night Utah-Washington State game on television or whatever. Like there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into a lot of these deals, and Notre Dame doesn't really. They offer a lot of pop without a lot of the backroom investment. So I really think Notre Dame would be in position to cash in a significant way. And if it was always all about money for Notre Dame, they would have joined a league a long time ago. They make less annually from TV stuff than like ACC schools do, and certainly Big Ten schools do. So I think Notre Dame is going to sit back and monitor the chessboard, enjoy its newfound status as the prettiest girl in the dance floor, and they will wait and see how the other moves unfold. But they haven't been in a rush to join a league for a century, and I don't think they're going to continue that. Here's one little good spy versus spy nugget for you.
Yes.
I am skeptical that the SEC would agree to a playoff that boxes out Notre Dame and forces them to join the Big Ten. Does that make sense? Because they'd be essentially giving the Big Ten the best property on the board, and that's bad business. So I think they'd create a playoff. And look, the playoff, people forget, Rich, is really a television contract.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it will probably be a 2-network television contract. So I don't see the playoff imminently becoming exclusive because whatever those 2 TV networks are, they're going to own properties outside of the Big Ten and the SEC, right? So they're going to want those properties to have a vibrant shot at the playoff. They're not going to undercut their other investments by terming them second tier and not giving them access to the playoff. Does that make sense?
Yes. So when Greg Sankey says this week, hey, that whole idea I said that other people outside of our world can be part of a playoff that we'd agree to. Yeah, let's go back to the drawing board where none of those can come in. He's kind of not telling the truth, because if he does that, that forces Notre Dame to the Big Ten or something like that.
What he said this week was like, let's not have automatic qualifiers for the playoff. Let's just bring in the top-ranked 4, 8, 12 teams.
Right.
So now it's both logical and completely self-serving, right? Because 6 of the 12 teams could be from the SEC some years. 5 of the 12 teams could be from the SEC some years. And then some years the Pac-12 might not have a team there, so they're going to make it. So, like everyone's stance on this is rooted in their own realities.
Yes.
But one of the realities that was reinforced in the past month is that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to have likely a bigger say in how that's shaped.